In a previous video, I stated that the PL-89 deals with three major concepts, but really it's four major concepts, and that's conveyed in an acronym. Now, we had to stop last video because I was running out of what? I was running out of time. In English Gematria, the word time equals 47. The secrets of time and space, this is my theory. This is what I'm working with. It's something I just think is true. That the Talmud states, I think it's in Tractate Sota, the first daf, that it's a famous passage that says that it's difficult to get married or to make a living like it is to split the sea. Which is not difficult for God at all. Nothing is difficult for God, but for us it's extremely difficult. I mean, it's impossible. Which is just to say that the verses of the 72 names come exactly from the passages of splitting around the time of the splitting of the sea, when the children of Israel walked through dry land. And when you think about such a defying of the forces of the laws of nature, you think about God created the laws of nature, and they seem to hold, but they can be defied. And the secrets. So what follows from these? The reason why these 72 names are coming from these passages about the angel of God, and the pillar of God, the pillar of cloud, and then it just says the pillar and the angel it was talked about the same person. It just said that the angel was before them and went behind them, and the pillar that was before them went behind, and it just calls the pillar and the angel the same thing. It's all part of God. That the secrets of time and space, physics, matter, time, space, all the quantum ideas of making quantum leaps, like going through the ocean, like going through the sea, are found in the passages of splitting the sea. That's why you find the 72 names. So one of my theories is that the 72 names, it's really 216 letters because it's 72 times 3. It's just 3-letter name each one. These names convey qualities of creation. How do we use that? How do we decode that? Well, number one, if we're going to use it, we're going to know for sure that it was given to us beforehand. Any invention, any gift that God has given to mankind, whether it was electricity or, I don't know, antibiotics or soap, I don't know. Anything was given from beforehand. The automobile transportation, things, air conditioning, anything that makes our lives more comfortable, it's God-given. So if we're going to know secrets of time and space and use it for the good, we need to be, I can imagine, because of free will, some people are using it for not good, but we like to use it for good. Here, the PL-89 is meant to help. It's meant to improve, and it's meant to bring light to the world. Okay. Now we were running out of time. Now what is time? Well, that's a philosophical question. Time. We all use time. We all know what time is on a practical level. You see the minutes go by, and you see something's moving. We're moving through something. It's gonna come to an end. I'm looking at the clock all the time, and at some point I will run out of time. It's a commodity like money. You have a finite amount of it, and then it runs out. So in English Gematria, the word time equals 47. And if you look at the Hebrew Gematria, of the 72 names, the names that equals 47 appear more than any other name. So this is what led me to believe. See, this is how you used English Gematria in conjunction with Hebrew Gematria. They go hand in hand. And why would that be? Because of something that the Alter Rebbe, Rabbi Shneur Zalman of Liadi, I think his last name was Baruchovich, I believe. Baruchov or Baruchovich, I think. Shneur Zalman Baruchov or Baruchovich. Rabbi Shneur Zalman of Liadi was the first Rebbe of Chabad. He started the Chabad Hasidus, and he wrote Sefer, a book on the commentary on Torah. It's called Torah Or, I think, for the first two books, and then it's Likutei Torah for the next three. It's like 2 and 3. It's very interesting. Why it's two? Why it's a group like that, 2 and 3. Bereshit and Shmos are together, and then Vayikra B'Midbar Dvarim. Anyway, in Torah Or, in Parshas Vayishlach, the Alter Rebbe, Admor Hazaken, or the Baal Tanya, it talks about the ultimate redemption and the roles that Yaakov and Esav play in the redemption. And he writes, and I saw this inside myself. I read it, and I was very fascinated. I heard Ariel Cohen Oloro talk about it, and so I was very fascinated by it. I looked at it inside myself. And he talks about the different worlds, the different conceptual worlds that Yaakov and Esav stem from. And what he says is that Esav comes from Tohu. Tohu is translated as chaos. He says the Or HaTohu, the light of chaos, is actually higher. It's higher than the light of Tikkun. Jacob comes from Tikkun. Tikkun is like rectification. It's like fixing something. If you look at Judaism today, it's all about fixing things, making things better. But Esav is it's hard to define it in an exact thing. You could say Gentile world, but it's not exactly Gentile. It's like, look at the two brothers. Esav was like, if you can show two examples of Yaakov and Esav. Let's say if Yaakov would be an offshoot of Yaakov would be, let's say, an academic. Then an offshoot of Esau would be, could also be an academic, would be like an engineer. No, that's maybe. It's all very general. It's hard to get an exact example. Esav is the Western world that's not Jewish. Let's put it that way. So the Alter Rebbe says that these two the meeting of these two, is the key to the redemption. But how do we learn about redemption? How do we get to the topic of redemption? Through the splitting of the sea, which was the first redemption. And what numbers do we have the most? Did we say 47? 47 is time. But what do we talk about redemption? When does it happen? At the end of what? Of time. Acharit hayamim. Do you see how it's connecting? Time, splitting of the sea, the laws, quantum physics, 72 names, time, space. Tafyomi? There's more to say, but I think we'll stop it here for now.